there, I'm your host Peter Taylor, and welcome to our first ever performance of Turnpoint Theatre's Tickle Scratch, a free weekly online scratch night where we present new work from around the world to the comfort of your own home. Tonight we have 8 pieces based around the theme of My First Time, which were picked by our panel of judges. So, let's get right into it. Now, first up, we have Speed Dating by Phil Taylor, performed by Celine Abrahams and Tom Manning. There are many times in our experience, usually very few, when what is happening fits into place like an intricately crafted jigsaw puzzle. Listen carefully and enjoy.
So it's you then?
Looks like it.
Tough journey?
The start made the first 100 metres of a triathlon seem like a walk in the paddling pool.
Lots of competition?
All heights and all sizes, but my power to weight ratio is impressive. I've been training hard.
One of your strongest features?
Oh, undoubtedly, along with my persuasive nature.
We'll check that out later. Any grotty points?
Some of my friends might see a smidgen of arrogance. I can come across as a little smug, but I put that down to my desire to succeed.
At all costs?
It's tough out there. Dog eat dog and all that. I think Darwin got it about right. Survival of the fittest is an apt maxim. Tell me about yourself.
From a small family. A little bit of a loner. Don't go out too much, once every few weeks. Keeps me in the know.
Introvert or extrovert?
I think introvert. I'm usually only here for a few days. It's all I can manage. If you'd signed up next week, you would have missed me.
Seems like the stars are aligning. Interests?
Interior design. I like things pointing in the right direction. A bit of a feng shui fanatic.
Do you prefer my left side or my right?
Your profile is better when I see you from the right.
Favourite film?
The Graduate. Dustin Hoffman arrives just in time to sweep the bride off her feet. Yours?
Incredible Journey. Those pets did a fantastic job of overcoming all sorts and finding their way back to their true home. Music?
Amy Winehouse. Came from nowhere. What a voice. And then tragically disappeared so quickly.
Johnny Cash, for me. Went through hell to make it, but June Carter eventually tamed him. Future plans?
In the short term, I'm looking for a flexible partner. Some time to explore a possible future together. And then, boom, make an impression on the world. Perhaps set up a business together, travel, let people know we're here and we're staying. What are your aims?
I have several time-constrained targets, in plain speak. The first was to meet someone as attractive as you. The second was to create a dynamic partnership that would, within months, make an impact on everybody around. The third, actually, I'm a little embarrassed about the third, but it is to do something that will benefit humanity. I do have a Mother Teresa side, believe it or not.
Are you superstitious?
What makes you ask?
I hadn't been here for long when you arrived, and I put on my best. I think you've got competition.
Oh, it's you. I passed him on the way up. I'll go and have a chat with him. Whew! Sorted. He wasn't your type anyway.
How do you know that?
Very untidy. Always moving things around. You wouldn't have got on.
You have a bit of a wild side. I'm not a total OCD fanatic.
And how does that wild side manifest itself?
Well, perhaps if you come a little bit closer.
I am ready for action now, you know. How close?
Very close, if you want.
I do want. Are you sure you are ready for this?
This is what I came here tonight for.
Me too. Maybe not the right time to use that phrase these days.
You'll need to snuggle up very close.
Can't I just dive in?
No. There's a weak spot which makes it easier for you.
And then we fuse.
I think the correct word is fertilise.
I'm on my way. Should be a great 9 months.
Rolling already.
Do you get it? Because she was a fusion, so they say. Next up, we have Ice Cream Cake by Lita Doolan, performed by Ciara Power. A young girl craves independence before realising she has left it too late to be a child. Her aspirations come at a high price. Exploring somewhere new, she chases one last taste of being young as she realises her childhood has slipped away almost unnoticed. Enjoy.
I've not done this before. I have good reason. Listen, the day me and my brother got separated, I thought he would come find me when I turned 16 and we would celebrate my birthday together. I saved up my money to buy ice cream cake. But I don't want it if I'm the only one who's going to eat it. He's out there. He's coming home soon. I look at people around me and a lad I don't know speaks to me. "Excuse me, love. Do you know where Playfair Steps are?" "Yeah, it's funny you should say that, because I only just passed it an hour ago." The lad speaks again. "Sorry, love. I don't have time for your life story." After Mary's Milk Bar and the Dewdrop Inn, turn right, go down the mound and follow the bagpipes. That's all there is to do around here anyway. The lad won't keep his mouth shut. He says, "So it's not far then." I just told him where it is. I want him to walk away. "Steps all around you, pal." "You want steps? Just pick any steps." That's all this city is. Lots of steps everywhere. You can't miss them. He stumbles. I reach for him and he pulls a blade and his eyes are out of focus. He won't go away. I shout, "Why don't you play fair yourself, pal, and leave me? I told you exactly where Playfair Steps are." I think this is it. I reach to go and bam, bam! He hits me. No, he thumps me and he kicks me and he shouts, "You don't come from around here, do you?" I see him through blurry eyes. He shouts, "I'm not done with you!" I fall back into the shadow of Advocate's Close. I'm lying, battered, on the floor, and he runs away. As long as he doesn't have the money I saved for ice cream birthday cake, I'm okay. The lad tosses my silver coins in the air. They shine in the morning sun. He has my money. So I know that this street is my home tonight.
A powerful piece. Next up, we have The Last Thing We Need Is Space by Ed Keates, performed by Gabriel Burke, Kasia Briars, and Frida Strom. Carol and Frank are seeing a therapist together for the very first time. Their sex life is suffering due to the incident in Frank's profession, and Carol has run out of ideas. Enjoy.
And so that's why we've come here, for you to help us.
Well, I'm glad you've taken the first steps to get help. Most couples tend to suffer in silence.
Oh, Carol's not the silent type. I mean, she knows what she wants and will let you know right away.
And you appreciate that honesty?
It's a little much, sometimes.
A little much?
Yeah.
I'm a little much?
All I mean is, it can be a lot to digest.
Why would something your wife says be too much?
Yeah, why would something your wife says be too much, Frank?
Right, hang on a minute here.
Yes, Carol, let's take a step back. We don't want Frank to think we're ganging up on him. I'm not here to take sides.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm here to mediate so that you both get heard for the purpose of healing. Frank, please continue.
I only say it can be difficult sometimes because I then feel inadequate. I don't want to let her down.
And what have you done to try to improve this part of your relationship?
Oh, anything that would, get him in the mood.
Such as
A variety of outfits, slutty maid, slutty nurse, slutty nun, slutty policewoman, slutty policeman, schoolgirl, school headmistress, substitute school teacher, Uber driver, pizza delivery driver, plumber, window cleaner, butcher, baker, big dildo maker.
The Disney princesses.
Yeah, all of the Disney princesses.
Except Ariel.
Oh yes, that's right.
Why no Ariel?
Costume was out of the shop that day.
So popular, but we did manage to get an orange wig and have me thrash around in the bath for a bit.
That almost worked.
Almost, yeah.
And the slutty policeman?
What about it?
Was that a different costume to the slutty police woman?
Put on a different voice.
Yeah, different voice. You know, lower.
Lower, like, go under a vest, mate.
Because I'd actually be wearing a vest.
Yeah, we like wordplay as well as cosplay.
Love a pun.
Puns are the best.
Of course, whatever helps, whatever you enjoy.
We tried it all. Crotchless knickers, big knickers, dirty knickers, no knickers, peephole bra, see-through bra, strapless bra, breastfeeding bra.
No bra.
No bra.
No knickers.
No knickers. I just remembered.
She's not wearing any now.
I'm not wearing any now.
Great! Well, I think you've tried a variety of costumes.
I even dressed up as an alien. You know, try a little probe.
Yeah, let's not talk
He
about
ran
that.
out of the house screaming. The neighbours had to call the police because they saw an alien chasing a man in his pants down the road. I couldn't believe it.
Right.
Yeah, I know, it was a very convincing costume.
That's interesting. So you've actually tried to address the issue.
Yes, but he didn't like that one either. He hated it the most.
Did you hate the others, Frank?
Hate's too strong a word.
Okay, so it didn't work out for you, any of the costumes, but the alien one in particular was a bit too close to home, am I right?
Yes.
How long have you been back?
It's been 2 months.
Right, 2 months.
With the travel and everything, sometimes he forgets.
How long were you gone for?
For I, it was a 3-month mission.
But time works different up there. I was gone for 3.5 years.
3.5 years?
3.5 years.
I don't know much about space travel, but I'm assuming it's somewhat of a miracle to return safely. Am I right to assume that?
Pretty much, yeah. There's always a very rigid plan to return, but things can change.
So, would it be safe to say you had a negative experience whilst you were up there?
Yes.
He hasn't even spoken to me about it.
Frank, did you experience any space dementia whilst you were away?
No. Despite the amount of time we were there, we did a good job of keeping ourselves occupied, focused and supported.
But something went wrong?
We had to go and repair satellite Starlight 768. We received a distress signal. They were losing power, so we rushed to their aid. The loss of power can be so dangerous up there, as the circulation of oxygen will eventually stop. So you see the need to get to them before it was too late. You talk of space dementia. Well, that's nothing compared to what can happen to someone when they're staring death in the face. Staring out into the void of black, knowing that could be the last thing their eyes gaze upon. Not the support of friends, or the hand of a family member. Facing the end, alone, is just not your preferred way to exit the world.
I imagine, given those drastic possibilities, you form extremely strong bonds with the rest of your crew members.
Of course, you know what it's like. You have to like the people that you work with.
She works on her own, Frank.
I got the sentiment. Don't worry, I wasn't always a therapist.
Oh, what did you do before?
Carol!
Well, I was just
She
curious.
means that
I
she-
know what she meant.
It's fine. Please continue.
As we were nearing the satellite, we tried to make contact with the crew there. Let them know we weren't far away. Communication is so important in these circumstances. When people feel like they're running out of time, communication gives them hope. We kept signalling, but we were getting nothing back. We thought we might be too late.
Frank, just so you know, this is only your first session, so don't feel pressured to dive too deeply if it's upsetting. We're here to support you, okay?
Take your time, love.
I'm fine. I'll carry on, if that's okay.
Of course. We're listening.
We docked on the satellite. Immediately, we could tell they had become desperate. There was a mess everywhere. We had no idea what we were walking into.
Oh God. It was a bloodbath, wasn't it? The lack of power had broken the fridges. The food had gone off. Jesus! They started eating each other.
I wish.
They were all dead, weren't they?
I wish.
Dear God, just what did you find when you got there?
We noticed the place was upside down. We assumed that maybe they had turned on each other. We walked through concourses from lower deck to upper deck. There was nothing but a trail of destruction leading us, finally, to an airlock. We were dreading what was to be on the other side of it. My captain, he lost his nerve. He refused to open it. He looked at me and ordered me to unlock the door. I pushed the button to open the airlock, and the door separated for us to see. Something that space travel could never have prepared us for.
Aliens. You saw aliens, didn't you, Frank? You've met extraterrestrials, haven't you?
No. The crew were alive.
Oh, thank God.
They had become desperate, knowing they would be facing death. When that door opened, we were greeted with the entire crew of Starlight 768 engaging in the most hardcore orgy perverts could ever imagine. They were all at it. They were all naked and at it.
How many of them?
8, Tina. 8. All of them. In each other. Do you have any idea what it's like not only to see people having sex, but due to the lack of gravity, watching them all do each other like some kind of slow motion replay on Match of the Day? I couldn't believe it. They didn't even know we were there.
Did you stop them?
Well, I bloody well didn't join in.
How did this make you feel?
How did it make me feel?
I'm guessing you weren't aroused by what you saw.
Aroused? Aroused? Tell me, Tina, have you ever watched porn?
You can't ask a therapist about porn.
It's quite all right, Carol.
But you know what a cum shot is.
Have you lost your mind?
Yes, I am aware.
You've seen those documentaries of zero gravity in space. You've seen how they eat, haven't you? Watching them squeeze juice from a small carton and watching it solidify from liquid into a jelly-like substance. Now imagine seeing that happen from someone's cock.
Oh, Frank. I mean, that's just
I know.
the entire crew.
Fucking.
How does this make you feel, Carol, now that Frank has told you this?
Well, it's enough to put you off sex, isn't it?
What did you expect? We were bound to have a piece about something along those lines. Maybe not entirely about that, but, you know, my first time. Next we have Evening Standards by Alakija and performed by Lindsey Cross. Evening Standards is about Faye, a young woman who decides to do something impulsive and out of character for the very first time, when confronted with a very entitled fellow passenger, who's about to find out that he's bitten off a little more than he can chew. Enjoy.
Well, that was fun. The look on his face. I don't know what I was thinking, but sometimes you just kind of lose it, no? So I was just on the tube, right? And this guy was manspreading like you would not believe. It was like Like he was trying to do the haka or something whilst reading a copy of the Evening Standard. Anyway, I started trying to glance over his shoulder at an article, as you do. Apparently not too subtly, because as soon as he clocked me, he quickly turned the page so that I couldn't carry on reading. Now, I thought this was pretty damn rude. So I, casually but not aggressively, just grabbed the whole paper from him. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" he said. "I'm reading the paper," I said. "But it's my paper. You just stole it from me." "And how much did you pay for it?" I asked. Well, obviously, I didn't pay for it. It's the Evening Standard." "So you stole it then?" "You can't steal a free newspaper." "My sentiments exactly," I said, and carried on reading. "But it was my paper. It was in my possession." "Yeah, and now it's in mine. And if you try and take it back, you'll be no better off than what you were trying to accuse me of, i.e. being a common thief, which I'm not, because like you said, you can't steal a free newspaper. Try it. It's literally impossible." He looked puzzled at this point, like one of those dogs you see on the internet that's confused by its own reflection in the mirror. So I casually kept reading, but then I could see the vein in his neck start to pop, so I pretended to finish reading the article and said, "Would you like to read my paper now? I'm finished with it." If looks could kill. I think he sensed another trick coming, but I didn't hang around for him to answer. I just thrust the paper into his chest, gave him a knowing wink, and got off at the next stop. And I'm not going to lie, it felt so damn good.
Now we're at the halfway point of our first ever show of Tickle Scratch. And of course, you can pause the video, you can make yourself a cup of tea, have dinner if you want to. But I'd like to take this opportunity to talk to you about how you can support your local theatre. Of course, coronavirus has affected everyone's day-to-day life, none so more than those working within the theatre industry. Remember before bars and small shops even closed at the end of March in the UK? Well, remember it was actually theatres, mainstream and fringe, that decided to take the important necessary actions early on to close their doors for the safety of others. Now, a few months have passed, and even though we might be getting some sense of normality back, fringe and even mainstream theatre have still had no clear guidance or support from the government. That is why you are seeing so many fringe theatres ask desperately for your help through GoFundMe pages. So, whilst you're enjoying these performances, and I sure hope you are, I want you to think about a local theatre that is near and dear to you. Now, I want you to look up that theatre during the end of the show, or it can be right now and you can pause the video, and I want you to look up how you can help support them. Whether that be through a donation, or that actually is going to see one of their socially distant shows. You can help make a big, big difference and help keep theatres afloat for a little bit longer. Now, interval over, let's move on to the next piece, which is Everything Was Going Alright Until I Noticed the Clown by G.Goody, performed by Briar Knowles. A young woman's first sexual encounter keeps getting interrupted by various disturbing images, including a scary clown in the room. Enjoy.
When I lost my virginity, everything was going all right until I noticed the clown in the corner of the bedroom watching us. His grease paint-coated cheeks were creased into a sinister grin as he observed us on the bed. "Derek," I said to the guy fucking me, whose name was Derek, "there's a clown in the bedroom." Derek pulled out of me with a wet schlurp and looked in the direction that I was pointing with a trembling finger. "Shit," he said to the clown. "Get out of here." "Oh, I'm very sorry," said the clown, backing out of the room. "I'll leave you to it." We waited until the sound of his squeaky shoes receded into the distance, and then we resumed fucking. Derek kissed my neck and chest. "Oh, God," he moaned. "You're so tight." He caressed my cheek with a long, slimy squid tentacle. "The reign of man is ending," he said in the voice of a forgotten god. "The old ones will rise again. From our union we shall conceive a monstrous brood. Our progeny will rule the new world of our creation." "What did you say?" I asked. "What?" "Oh," he said, confused. "I didn't say anything. Oh, God, you're so sexy." I really didn't expect sex to hurt so much the first time. Breaking my hymen hurt a lot, and I was really dry down there. Derek was having a great time, though. I know, because we switched bodies for 5 seconds. I was looking down at him in my body, savoring his build toward orgasm. "Ow!" he screamed. "What the fuck?" Then we switched back. "Ow!" I said, "What the hell?" For a while, everything was going okay. And then suddenly, both our phones buzzed. It was our results from 23andMe, which we had both coincidentally sent our DNA to at the same time. We checked our results while still fucking, and found out that we shared a common ancestor, a great-grandfather from Kiev. "Oh, I'm so glad we met," Derek moaned as we both set down our phones. "I always wanted to get in touch with my long-lost cousins." At this point, I felt that we were close enough for me to tell him what my senior thesis that I had just completed was about. "You see," I explained, "in the 1800s, concerns about modernity were correlated in the public consciousness with concerns about immigration." "That is so fascinating," he moaned into my mouth. "It's so relevant to modern politics, too." "I know," I said. "The anthropology department sent me a prize for it. They gave me $400 for it. It's not as good as the research grants that they give out, but it's not bad. It's better than nothing, I guess." "I'm gonna come," he sighed. "Me too," said his parasitic twin. He finished, we dressed, and he drove me home.
Well, that was weird. Let's move on to the next piece, which is Sardines by Judy Upton, performed by Lucy Petrie. Sardines is inspired by a first-time experience of going back to work since lockdown. It also refers to the 1917 poem Adelstrop by Edward Thomas, in which an express train unexpectedly stops at a deserted country station, and in the stillness, a blackbird is heard singing. Enjoy.
I wouldn't normally leave my bag on the outside seat, but today I desperately don't want someone to sit next to me. We're only a couple of steps into the commute, and already people are standing. I don't know if it's because of people like me blocking seats, or whether they want simply to keep their distance. Occasionally, I meet another pair of wide, scared eyes over a face mask. Oh, I'm sweating. I feel claustrophobic. I want to cough, like I always do when I'm nervous, but I'm managing to stifle it for now. Just the sound of a cough or a sight of somebody wiping a sweaty brow makes everyone flinch or glare. All I can think about is the air conditioning. For all I know, it's circulating through the disease throughout the train. No one's really said whether that happens, have they? If it's true, all the seat blocking and social distancing is pointless. From several seats away, I hear what sounds like a stifled sob, but I can't offer aid or comfort. To leave my seat would mean squeezing past a number of standing passengers, brushing against them and literally occupying their airspace. I'm staying alert, as the slogan says. Well, alert as you can be in a crowded carriage full of hyperventilating commuters. I much preferred the previous message, stay home. I really wish that I was in Scotland or Wales where that's still the advice. Surely it makes sense, a lot more sense for us all to stay indoors until they put all the trains and buses back on at least. Maybe until the infection rate drops a little more too. I tell myself that even if I catch it, it might not be too bad. No, but then I start to remember the faces and the stories from the news, and I think of two of my own friends still with us, but currently so weak, so breathless, and both still suffering nightmares. God, every time the train pauses like this to wait for a signal, the panic rises in me like lava in a volcano. Looking out of the window, I remember a poem we had to study at school, Adelstrop, about a train stopping in the middle of nowhere and the passenger listening to a blackbird singing. I'm the girl on the train looking at the closed curtains of those working from home, or more likely laid off, and envy them, even the newly jobless. At least they're not stuck in a can of germs. Lois gives me a wave as I cross the small car park to our buildings. She's standing outside, mask hanging round her neck, while she smokes a ciggy. I'm about to explain, from 2 metres away, of course, that I'm slightly late on my first day back due to a slow train in, but before I can say anything, she gestures towards Sam, who is on her phone. Sam's just calling a vet. Door's locked. Seems like nobody else in yet. I look at my watch. I'm almost 20 minutes late. If this were a normal day, I'd be on my way to a verbal warning unless I had a better excuse than the trains. Sam finishes her call and joins us. Yvette's still working from home. She didn't even know we were starting back today. But I thought they said go to work if you can't do your job at home. Yeah, I mean, we're production line. It's different for the office lot. So what do? Just wait about? Yvette's got a number for Jonathan. Gave it to her at the Christmas party. His number, I mean. Beneath my mask that I sniggered. It wasn't even funny. It's just the release of tension and being among familiar faces, even if I could only see the top halves of them. I'm in the park. It's a small one, a couple of blocks from our workplace. When the MD finally phoned Yvette back, sometime after 10, he told her he didn't want us in. We were still furloughed. He'd send an email around when we were reopening, and he didn't know yet whether it would be this week or next. It all depended on logistics. Well, it's quiet here at the moment. The wind's blowing the blossom from the trees. A couple of people are walking dogs. And there's a squirrel clinging to a tree trunk, eyeing me quizzically. The zoom lens on my phone frames the squirrel perfectly, and I'm pleased with the shot. I love taking pictures. I did photography at college, imagining there might be a job on a website or a newspaper at the end of it, but well, it seems everyone takes their own photos now. I didn't get one interview. When I was at school, I wanted to be a wildlife camera woman, travelling the world, filming rare wildlife. I used to keep a diary of all the birds I'd seen from my windows, the butterflies in our yard. I post my wildlife photos on Instagram and I get likes and some nice comments, but I know it's never going to end. I know it's never going to get any further than that. That particular career window has closed, if there ever was an opening, a crack. Increasingly, I doubt that it was. A woodpecker calls from the branches of the huge horse chestnut above me. I squint against the sun to make him out among the spring leaves. I might stay here, taking photos for a while, just for the fresh air and the space. By the time I go back to the station, the morning rush will be a memory, and the train home will be quiet and empty. Tonight I'll be checking my emails with a feeling of dread, seeing if Jonathan expects me to board that sardine can again tomorrow, or even the day after. Even if he doesn't, it'll be 2 whole weeks before I can truly breathe easy, knowing this morning's pointless commute had been a safe one.
Lovely. Now, let's move on to our penultimate piece, which is Wondrous Chaos, by Peter Taylor, that's me, performed by Lindsey Cross and Jenni Quinn. Max and Ellie have been childhood friends for as long as they can remember, but the universe has much bigger plans for both of them. As on the night of Max's 25th birthday, Ellie is trying to save her life, and this is not the first time. Enjoy.
Ellie. Ellie. You. Ellie. Of all the days to be late. Well, hello there. A long time no see.
Time is it, Max?
Do you mean, is it party time already?
No, the actual time, Max. This is important.
Okay, then. Well, if you'd bothered to check, it is 5:35, which is 5 minutes after you said you wanted to meet.
Still mean time to talk to you before you go out.
You alright, mate?
Hmm?
You just seem a little wired.
Oh, do I? No. This is just me, normal, chilled out me.
How could I forget? Normal, chilled out you from school.
Look, Max, I need to tell you something.
About bloody time. I only turned 25 once, you know.
Yes, of course, 25. Sorry. I always forget to say something before we start, which is really weird because I always know what day it is. Quite well now, actually. Oh, is it hot in here? No, just me. God, I need to slow down.
Alright, what is going on?
Yes, sorry. I need to tell you something. Not happy birthday, although of course, happy birthday, but this is something far more important and urgent right now.
Oh. You know you can tell me anything, Ellie. Nothing is going to change between us.
Really?
Of course.
Okay, great. Oh, this is going a lot better than it did last time, so I best just say it really. Here goes. See, the thing is, Max, I can sort of travel in time.
Oh, right. Of course you can.
No, Max, really, I mean it. I somehow have the power to travel in time.
Prove it.
We don't have time for this.
Well, that's hilarious, and you know it.
Fine. Sure, I've had this conversation too many times, so whenever you're ready.
Really?
Sure.
Okay, then. Tell me what I'm gonna say.
Fine.
Alright.
Mango silver. Cherry blossom. Nigella Lawson's whipped cream. Everything the light touches, Simba, is ours.
Okay, stop this. Ellie, stop this.
Stop this.
You're really creeping me out now.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Sorry, you didn't believe me when I stopped earlier before, so I...
Holy shit.
I know.
Ellie, this is amazing.
Really?
Yes, my best friend is a fucking superhero.
Well, I wouldn't call myself that yet, but...
Wait, how long have you had this? Have you had this since school and you didn't tell me?
No. If I break it down, so yes, I can travel backwards in time, but no, I can't travel to anywhere that I haven't been as my past self, so I haven't met Shakespeare or tried to kill Hitler before you ask. And I can travel in time by putting my hand out like this.
Oh, there, are you doing this now?
What? No, of course not. I have to concentrate really hard on where I want to be and at what point, and then I hear this grrr sound, and with this grrr sound and my hand out like this, I can do my time travel thing.
It doesn't sound as cool when you put it like that.
Well, that was uncalled for.
I'm sorry, but wait, all that weird stuff that you were saying earlier, that's because we've had this conversation multiple times.
Yes.
For me, it's my first time.
But you don't or shouldn't know the difference, though.
So you always know what I'm going to say?
Yes, but I don't go back all the way. Sometimes I skip certain points.
I'm really that boring. Rude.
Look, Max, as fun as this is, I actually came back to warn you.
This took a turn. Warn me about what exactly?
Just don't take that job in Bristol.
Wait, how do you... Of course you know about that. But I haven't even heard back from them, so... Wait, do I get it? I got the job.
Yes, you do.
Oh my
but you
God.
can't take it.
Why? Wait, why not?
You just can't, Max.
Well, that's not what David Tennant would say.
Look, I can't tell you because the world might explode or something.
The world might explode or something? God, you're winging this time travel thing.
I don't know. It's like the idea of chaos theory. Could
Never
be
heard of it.
really bad if I affect the wrong type of decision, so I can't make you not go, but I needed to stop you.
What am I meant to do instead? You know how long I have wanted this, and I finally have this opportunity.
I'm sure you can figure it out.
Are you jealous, Ellie?
No, I'm not jealous, Max.
Because this all just sounds like you're upset that I am finally getting my life together and you're back living with your parents.
No, it's not that.
Look, you were always the smart one in school and I followed you around like a fucking duckling, but we are not those people anymore. At least not for me. Look, I know it has been a lot since uni with us not talking as much, but...
Max, please listen to me. I'm just trying to help you to understand.
No, you're not. You're actually just scaring me. Now... And you should be happy that I am trying to have a life, but you don't know how to be my friend anymore, do you?
Max, please don't.
Forget it. I actually don't want to talk about this anymore, so I'm gonna go get ready for tonight, and
if you do this,
I'll talk to you
you
later.
die, Max.
I thought it would be something bad, but not.
Oh, fuck. Fuck!
So if I take this job, I somehow die?
I have gone through every other possible point in time, and yes, this moment has to change something. I don't know what it is, but it's like the universe wants you dead. And I can't lose you again.
Lose me again?
I'm sorry, Max. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything.
Hold on, Ellie, just talk to me about it.
I can't risk it. I'm sorry. Really.
Ellie, don't!
I haven't gone back and edited these videos. Absolutely. It's been one take. All the way through. Promise. Finally, we have Not the Last Time, written and performed by Eleanor May Blackburn. Your first crush. Your first kiss. Your first time having sex. There are some firsts. You want to be your last. Enjoy.
The first time was cute. It was sweet corn and chicken dippers. Can Alex come over for tea? Came the plea from me to Mum. And of course she was happy to oblige. How do I describe it? My first crush. Playing with paintbrushes in reception. all was hush when we crept into the wardrobe to kiss at the ripe old age of 6. It was pure and utter bliss. Giggling and hiding underneath the clothes. I suppose that's reminiscent of many of my encounters. The first time, too, for doing something forbidden. As my face went warm and my heartbeat quickened. When my mum shouted what were we doing up the stairs, I was panic-stricken, but also excited and smitten. And who knew it would eventually be written down? My first boyfriend was exquisite. It was water sports and handmade gifts and a disco. You were my hero for around 2 weeks. Pink rosy cheeks that matched sunburnt legs. Will you be both our boyfriends instead? I secretly wanted him to myself. And I got that the next day. Hip hip hooray! When foreplay was then buying you a 15p pick and mix. When my hair was lined with pink and purple butterfly clips. And we didn't have to discuss things such as society and politics. A date was going to a local shopping centre, escorted by Mum. I chewed gum before I met you, but secretly felt numb to the thought of you kissing me. It's just what's expected of me, right? We hugged in the moonlight next to the boats. I was less than engrossed before long. My hope was to move on to many more conquests. But when I cowardly dumped you over the phone, I didn't realise it would be a long time before I moved on. I should have known. But this girl was yet to find out she always kept hanging on. And she'd find out alone. My first kiss was less than satisfactory. It was a conveyor belt in a relationship factory. It was dry and rushed and disappointing. It definitely wasn't something I'd been wanting. More like dreading. Something that had to be done. Afterwards, I'm surprised I didn't run. But I got out of there quick anyway. I had to. We'd left it until there was no time left. Then you told me it wasn't working the very next day. I was bitter and annoyed. I did my best to avoid you. I wanted to be the one to tell you. It wasn't supposed to work out like that. I never liked him anyway, I spat. Well, it was half true. After that relationship, I had a massive breakthrough. I started only dating guys I actually liked. I wish I'd done that with guys I slept with too. If only you could go back and unscrew. My first time. It was all dreamy and beautiful. Well, as beautiful as the first time can be. And I'm sure you'll agree. We were just glad to have got it over with. Your knee was bloody from carpet burn, but there was little other debris left over. I was a devotee to you back then. But time and time again, you let me down, as was the case with many men I met. But I didn't know that yet. I didn't sweat. I didn't do much of anything really. Just laid back and let you go for it freely. Starfished, you might say. But hey, I was only 17. Didn't know what it means to be good in bed. Skins was on in the background. Cassie and Sid's love scene playing on the TV and also in my head. Everyone always told me it would be over quick. So why was I lying on my back for around 2 hours without so much as a bite or a lick? I wondered if you had played some long-lasting trick. until the next 100 times were just the same. But it was pretty sick, losing it to someone I truly loved. A world away from my first time of something the opposite of beautiful. Ugly even. With you again. An old friend. But you weren't you anymore. It was all nightmares and confusion galore. Waking up with a start to the fact you were on top. I know that. What the hell? Get off me, I snapped. Well, as snappy as someone half asleep can be. Me, an absentee, you, practically beastly. Alcohol does that to you, you see. Or does it? It was a joint effort, I beg to disagree. How could you have mistaken me for awake? I was comatose in the bed, Sleeping Beauty. You didn't even shake me. I'm a light sleeper even when drunk to the 3rd degree. Ellie, did I rape you? He begged me. I was frozen into silence. My terrified form frozen. Not giving consent leaves you broken. And you called that devotion? I'd never been terrified like that before. It's all so vivid but also a blur. I didn't even get the chance to recover or ignore. You can't have been that upset about it. You still had it in you to finish it. At the side of me banging it out. I just wanted you to get out. I didn't cry. We didn't talk. Afterwards, you fell asleep beside me. I stayed awake for a long time. The first time, but not the last time.
And that, they say, is a wrap. Thank you very much for watching our first ever production of Tickle Scratch. I hope you enjoyed the performances. If you did, please give us a like and help share the video. Spread it across to many of your friends and family. Of course, thank you so much to all the writers and the actors who were involved in this production. It means so much that you gave your time to help spread a little bit more creative joy to all of us. But now, this has been your host, Peter Taylor. That has been our first ever show of Tickle Scratch. I will hopefully see you next week for our next theme, where we'll have brand new pieces. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, bye.